Welcome to Anje Falkenrath. As far as our opening hand goes, yes, I think we can make this work. We do need double red at some point, but we've got Forgotten Cave, we have Urborg, we do have Wasteland, and we do have a wheel effect. We've got a way that we can discard a card and kind of get this free looting effect. I definitely like this opening hand, and we're playing against Ulrich, so it's going to be fun to see some red-green werewolf. So, see what we draw into for the turn. Polluted Delta, and I think at this point, yeah, let's just go and polluted delta. Let's go and crack polluted delta. Let's go and grab Canyon Slow, and there we go. There we go. All right, clicked on the right one, and then anything else past the turn over to our opponent. So hey, there we go. So shout out to our opponent. I don't know if they're a friend of the channel, but if they are, hey, shout out. Hopefully this makes it onto the gameplay footage. So there we go. We're playing Anje Falkenrath, haste, and then activate, tap, discard a card, draw a card. Then whenever you discard a card, if it has madness, untap Anje. I'm playing against Ulrich. Yeah, just kind of rolling through that stop sign. Playing against Ulrich of Krallenhorde. Whenever this creature enters the battlefield or transforms into Ulrich, target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. Then at the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells are cast, transform it. And I'll cover the... no, our opponent is definitely a friend of the channel. They just said, gotta get that scurry off of Temple of Abandon. So yes, that is 100% it. So I think at this point we'll just end up going for Sulphurous Springs. I think that sounds pretty good. Yeah, get that down, and then anything else we're going to go and pass the turn over our opponent. So whenever our opponent's commander flips, it's going to turn into the uncontested alpha. Whenever this creature transforms, you may have it fight target non-werewolf creature you don't control. Then at the beginning of each upkeep, if a player has cast 2 or more spells last turn, transform it back into old 4/4 over there. So opponent's going to go for Cultivate. I do have I do have Ulrich. So if you want to check out my build of Ulrich, it's been a long time. I need to go revisit that deck certainly. But if you want to check out Ulrich, go type in Ulrich Jolt into YouTube, and you'll be able to find a gameplay video of it. So there we go. But yes, as far as Anje, let's kind of get into a little bit of deck tech talk here in just a second. So let's go ahead and go for Anje. Ooh, drawn to Waste Not, which is pretty good. So. I think at this point we'll just end up going Urborg. Let's go for Anje. Don't want to go for Squee because that's the one that we want to dump into the graveyard. We'll have Anje come down. Let's go for a Squee activation. Not a Squee, but an Anje activation. Let's go and discard a card. And this is one of the nice things is that we get to return Squeeze. So it's just kind of basically like we get a free card draw every single turn. And that is a very nice feeling. So anything else, going to pass turn over to opponents. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you build your very own Madness deck, if you can get a little bit crazy, head on over there. They've got all the Vampire and Madness cards that you may need. And also, let's give a quick shout out to inkgaming.com. If you want to check out my merch booth, head on over there. Type in Jolt539 into the search bar. You'll be able to check out my playmats and t-shirts. Or if you just want to treat yourself, grab anything off the website. Use coupon code JOLT for 10% off your order. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to contribute to the Patreon, there's a link down in the description below. Get your name at the beginning or the ending of the credits and support cool content like this. And if you can't do that, hey, no problem. Just tell somebody about the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. So now it is officially free time. We can have some fun. So I like this matchup. You know, this build of Anje is a little bit differently. So I played against, yes, let's go and use Squee back, and I'll kind of talk about what we've got going on here in a second. So Rakdos Guildgate. Yeah, let's just go and see what we can kind of conjure up. So let's go and discard Squee again. And this is just Value City. Ooh, and then Gamble. One of my favorite things about Gamble is that it works just really well with Anje whenever we discard a card. So I really think we want to end up going for Waste Not. I think that's going to be a good option for us. So let's go Waste Not. Have that enter the battlefield. We still have the land drop to make for the turn. So I still kind of actually like going for a Gamble, because we're going to gamble for... Gonna game for a wheel effect. That's really gonna get us kick-started with this Waste Not. So, where are we? There we go. Wheel of Fortune. Let's see if it sticks. Okay, that's perfect. Sanitarium Skeleton went into the graveyard. Since we do have a land that comes into play tap, let's just go and get down Rakdos Guildgate, and then we're gonna go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So. All right, but yeah, this is pretty much what this deck wants to do. You know, I didn't really know where to take Anje, to be perfectly honest. I didn't really want to go Vampire Tribal. You know, it is very unique in that we have a hasty kind of looter out of the command zone that does care about Madness. So I do have Madness incorporated into the deck. We also have a lot of flashback incorporated into our deck building too, because it'll work out to where we can, flash some of this stuff back, especially if we're going for wheel effects. And if we're discarding a lot, we need to draw a lot of cards, Wheel of Fortune, Dark Deal, different things like that really kind of help us push this game plan. So, and then when I was looking at madness stuff, there's a couple different madness spells that we can tap out for some burn spells. And so, long story short, it was kind of one of those like, hey, let's just kind of just toss together this weird waste not burn deck and cycle through our deck. I don't know. It's just very interesting. So, and right now we've already won. In my head, we've already won because we have the Anje Squee line of play going right now, and it just feels good just to tap and draw a card. Yes, definitely want to use that ability. That's also the same reason why we have a Sanitarium Skeleton in here, because that does allow us to kind of filter our card draw. So pretty good. At this point, we can actually go for, yeah, I kind of like that. So let's go and discard Alms. That's going to be a little bit of a Black Lightning Bolt, which is going to be really nice. So let's go for this Madness cost. We're definitely going to tap down Urborg. And this is where the value starts to pick up. So, yes. Target our opponent. Okay, I was getting where this is the first time I'm pretty much playing this game, and I got worried that we missed something. So we're going to be able to untap Anje. We get to cash in one more card draw. And let's see, that's going to be Mana Confluence. So let's go ahead and discard Squee. Probably going to end up going for Wheel of Fortune, but we just want to make sure that there's not anything that we're really missing. So, as far as the land drop for the turn, we've got Wasteland. That's going to be a swamp with Urborg, so we're okay with that. We end up going for Talisman. That's going to still allow us to end up going for Wheel of Fortune. I think at this point, what we might end up going for, I think, so now we can hold on to, well, no, let's go and go for it, because we're looking at 3. Yeah, let's just go ahead and force this issue. So we're going to go and go for Wheel of Fortune. Hopefully we can just generate some really nice value off of this Waste Not. And we don't have any madness stuff in the hand, unfortunately, but, oh, look at that. And add some pretty good mana to our mana pool. That's going to be 1-2. And I think they had nothing but lands in their hand. Oh, no, that's a pretty good value. And the fact that we... yeah, I think we got 10 mana that just got added to our mana pool, which is really good. So let's go for Rakdos Signet. Yeah, actually, let's do this. Let's go for Ancient Craving. That's going to be 1, 2, 3. We're going to draw 3 cards and lose 3 life. We're still going to be able to end up going for, yeah, let's go Lightning Greaves. That way we can protect Anje. Put Anje onto Falcon. There we go. So that's going to be Lightning Greaves, Rakdos Signet. And that's going to allow us to still end up going for Dark Deal. I think that sounds like a good plan. Let's go Dark Deal. And this is one of the fun things. We're not really getting ahead on super value, like a ton of value, but the fact that we're getting to just kind of really filter through our library, it's a pretty good feeling. So let's go Anje. Let's have the Madness cost, and we'll get the Waste Not triggers going on. So this is a very good indication of what we're trying to do with the deck. So this feels pretty good. So let's have the add the mana to our mana pool. And see, even we're not really winning the game right now, but it just feels good. I like what we've got going on. So Avacyn's Judgment. We do need to find a red source, unfortunately, and I think we've already made the land drop for the turn. So we're going to get a 2-2 zombie, and then the Madness cost, I think it's only 1 black mana, I think. We'll get it popped up. Yes, we're going to go ahead and target, I think Kessig. Actually, no, we're going to target Silver. Because we definitely want to kind of keep that off the battlefield. We could, we'll probably end up running into some sort of board wipe, but at least getting rid of that. And then Curse. Oh, and I think that's a bummer because we simply just don't have the mana. Yeah, we don't have the mana for that, so we're not going to cast it. So that is a bummer. So we get to untap Anje. We still get to filter. We have to discard an additional card. So let's go ahead and discard, I think, Gaia Reach Sanitarium, because we do have Crucible World, so we're at least going to be able to get that down and start making a few land drops. We get to untap Anje. And I think we just kind of hold on to a bunch of value, because we're going to be able to make the land drop next turn. So let's go Crucible of Worlds. There we go. And then anything else? No, we're going to go and pass the turn. So not that crazy of a turn. I mean, what that was a pretty crazy turn, but we don't really have that crazy of a board state. Let me rephrase that. So, but this is exactly what we want to do. You know, when we get down to Waste Not, we want to go for a couple of different wheel effects. We got really lucky getting a ton of mana like that, so we got it really far ahead as far as getting out Rakdos Signet, Crucible of Worlds. We can start making a few land drops. We could go for the Wasteland, kind of destroy lands, but that's not my particular play style, and so we're not going to be going for that. So we definitely could with Crucible of Worlds, but that's not exactly what we want to end up doing. So this is exactly, though, our opening hand. This is what we want. You know, we just want to send a bunch of burn up top to our opponent. So we've got Alchemist Greeting. We can do 4 damage. That's going to allow us to kind of clear out some of these wolf tokens on the battlefield. We've got Searing Spear up top. We've got the Violent Eruption that we can start going for that. And then also, we're still going to have Squee coming back next turn. That's going to allow us to kind of filter our card draw. And so, you know, this is one of those decks. You know, I definitely approach building this deck from a standpoint of we're probably not going to win every single game because there's a lot of just random things that we're doing. But it is so just kind of competitive, not competitive. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It's just fun to pilot. Let me put it that way. Like there's just a lot of interest. Oh, dang it. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, it gets +1. Oh, we got Somber World Alpha on that one. Oops. All right, so that was definitely a misplay. I was getting really excited talking about the deck. So let's go and return Squee back to the hand. And we run into Prismatic Vista, which is definitely going to allow us to... we can play that out of the hand. So let's go and go for Anje. Let's go and discard a card. Yeah, and let's go and go... Yeah, we're going to discard a card. We're going to go and get rid of Alchemist Greeting. Let's go for the Madness cost. We're definitely... Yeah, we want to get rid of that Kessig Prowler. Or actually, if we want to get rid of Somberwald, I think that would be a better option. So let's get rid of Somberwald because that's going to allow us to at least kind of start to block with some of these zombies, even though I don't miss it. So that'll be pretty good. We're going to be able to untap Anje. We're still going to have another card to draw, so let's go ahead and go for an activation. I think that was the last Madness cost that we at least want to discard. So we're going to discard Squee. That's going to be 2 card draw. So we run into Field of Ruin, and then we run into Read the Bones. So let's go ahead and go for Read the Bones. We're going to scry 2, lose 2. Burning Inquiry. That'll be good. So let's go ahead and put Firemind Vessel on the bottom. We'll put Burning Inquiry on top. So we'll draw into... and then we run into Vampiric Tutor. So as far as what we want to do, so let's go Command Tower. And I think we want to try to set up a Vampiric Tutor. So let's go Dreadbore. Actually, let's go Kolaghan's Command. 2 damage to target creature. Actually, I think we might want to hold on to Kolaghan's Command. Let's do it like this. Let's go Dreadbore on Kessig. And then let's go and swing in with the 2 zombies. Yeah, because we're playing Burn. We kind of want to accelerate this really quick. I did think about going for Kolaghan's Command on that Kessig Prowler. But at this point, we're getting a lot of stuff going into our graveyard. I really wanted to be able to... kind of keep us open if we wanted to bring back a certain creature. So we did make the land drop for the turn. We certainly did. We've got Gutter Bones we can for 2 mana, but yeah, we're simply just going to go and leave up Vampiric Tutor. Let's go and discard our lands cards because we can play those out of the graveyard with Crucible. So I think at this point we'll just get rid of Field of Ruin because there's not that crazy of a board state at this point. So let's go and discard a Field of Ruin, and then we'll go and pass the turn back over to our opponent. So we do have Vampiric Tutor. Probably going to end up going Vampiric Tutor on another wheel effect. I think, no, we already ran into Dark Deal. I think there's another wheel effect in here. Hopefully there is. We'll at least kind of see what we've got going on. If we want to, we can actually Vampiric Tutor for the Bone Dude. I think Bone Miser. Is that his name? It's Bone Miser. It's the new card from Commander 19, the creature version of Waste Not. So that's something that we could grab, especially with something like Burning Inquiry. That would get some really nice double value. I think yeah, that sounds pretty good because one of the fun things about building a new Commander deck is at least getting to play with some of the cool new Commander cards. So that'll be pretty cool. So we've got Ulrich coming down. But yeah, as far as this deck goes, we've achieved greatness. This is exactly what I kind of had in mind as far as building this clunky deck that can really generate some value really nice. And just, you can see, we're just discarding a Madness cost and getting that untap ability. The fact that Anje doesn't, that ability of untapping it, if you discard a Madness card, is not tied to, like, you know, the activation of actually discarding a card and drawing a card. So we're going to be able to get these untaps off of any sort of wheel effect, which is really good. So Pretty cool. All right, so opponent's going to go for +4/+4, and they're going to get that trample on the battlefield. So we might, yeah, that's going to be 8. That'd be a pretty good little chunk. We might end up Vampiric Tutoring for a board wipe. We'll see. But that monument, yeah, we're going to have to watch out. Yeah, we'll probably end up having to go for a board wipe before we get a little bit too crazy. We can still end up going for a few different Anje activations, and maybe we can sequence it to where we still end up with Anje back on the battlefield. But now that they've kind of recommitted to the board, I kind of like going for a board wipe. So they're going to be able to swing in for 10. That will knock us down to 15, and this Vampiric Tutor will put us down to 13. So let's go ahead and cash in this Vampiric Tutor. And we're going to go for a... We should have some board wipes left in here. All right, so let's grab Crux of Fate. We do have Toxic Deluge, but we're taking 10 right now, so I do like paying life total a lot, but not super wild about a Toxic Deluge for like 5. I think that's going to get us down just a little bit too low. So let's go ahead and bring, yes, definitely need to squeeze back to our hand, and we'll see how we want to sequence this, because what we can, so we go Crux of Fate. Yeah, we just want to hit the reset button on this. Let's go ahead and push him with the 2 zombies. Our opponent's going to see this board wipe. Our opponent just said, "Are you happy with all this werewolf murdering?" And I'm like, no, not at all. I don't appreciate any of me getting rid of any of these werewolves. So let's go and swing him with double zombie tokens, and we'll end up going for this Crux of Fate. Just kind of hit the reset button and hopefully try to burn it out from here. So let's go and swing in for 4. We'll probably end up seeing the wolf-bitten captive block. More than likely, because they'll sniff this block from a mile away. But there we go. Swinging in for 2, that's going to put them down to 21. And as far as... Yeah, because we could kind of go Madness, but that's going to be 5 mana. I think I'm better just going straight up just Crux of Faith. But let's go and discard a Squee. Get that into the graveyard. Run into Soul Ring. That was definitely a good flip off of that. Let's go Talisman. And then that'll set us up next turn. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to destroy all non-dragon. Yes, that is correct. I always get so worried that I'm going to click the wrong button. And it just not be good for anybody. So we're going to destroy all non-dragon creatures. That's going to get rid of that. That's going to put us at 1, 2, 3, 4. And we have not made the land drop for the turn. So let's go Field of Ruin. That way we can go Anje, kind of like that. All right, so we're going to have Anje enter the battlefield. Let's go for Lightning Greaves onto Anje, and then anything else. Now we're going to pass turn over to our opponent. So we're in a pretty good spot right now. And, hopefully we can start to get some of this burn going. We've got at least 2 damage to our opponent. That's going to put them down to 19. We're at the point now where we can tap out for Avacyn's Judgment, which is going to be really nice. We've got 4 damage with Violent Eruption and 3. Now with Avacyn's Judgment, 2 damage. Yeah, and I think what we'll probably do, especially with them getting down Fires of Yavimaya, we'll need to get Avacyn's Judgment going pretty quick. So if we completely tap out for that, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And what we can do is we can actually go for this on our opponent's turn if we wanted to deal on the Avacyn's Judgment. And what we can do is we can go Burning Inquiry. That would get us a little bit of extra mana with Waste Not. If we wanted to be a little aggressive, that's going to be 1. Yeah. We'll see. All right, so we're going to return Squee back to our hand with Anje. Yes, definitely needs that ability. Turn that back. See what we draw into for the turn. That's going to be Wooded Foothills. Let's go and get this crossed off. Yeah, I think at this point, because we've got land drop out of the graveyard swamp. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we've got at least 11 damage up top with the Searing Spear. Try to decide if we would end up going for Burning Inquiry. And that's, well, even if we hit Burning Inquiry on Avacyn's Judgment, I think that's going to be okay. So let's do that. So let's go ahead and discard a card. Let's go and discard Squee. It'll be Past in Flames. Okay. And that'll definitely... If we wanted to get some... Do you think we can storm off with Past in Flames? And, like... I think that'll be pretty good. The only thing is we have Avacyn's Judgment in our hand, but we can generate a ton of mana by simply going for these wheel effects, but that's going to send Avacyn's Judgment back into the bin. You know what? I think we try to set this up for next turn. Well, you know what? Let's just have some fun. I'm not, this is kind of, honestly, this is the first time I'm playing this deck. I think with Past in Flames and some of these wheel effects, we can just generate a ton of mana. And so I think that's what we're going to try to end up going for. So we're just going to go and go for it. So let's go past in flames. It's going to give all of our instant and sorceries flashback out of the graveyard. Let's go land drop for the turn. We want to make sure we've got some red mana. So we actually don't have Badlands on the battlefield. So let's go Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, we're going to try to we're going to try our best to try to combo off this turn, because with that monument getting trampled, that's really not going to be that good for us. So let's go Wheel of Fortune. That's going to discard there, draw 7 cards. We'll see what we end up getting off of Waste Not. So let's have the Anje trigger go on the stack. Anje, the Madness triggers, and then we're going to get the Waste Not triggers up there too. Okay, so we run into Electro Dominance. We're going to draw into another card, Undead Gladiator. So we get the Madness for Avacyn's Judgment. We're not going to go for that just yet, because we don't really have a ton of mana. I was hoping to get a little bit, but not going to cast that. And then Violent Eruption. We want to try to get just a little bit more mana with that that Dark Deal sitting in our graveyard. So we're going to be able to untap Anje. Let's go ahead and discard a card. I think at this point we'll just go and get rid of Mountain. It's going to be Bloodstained Mire. Let's go for another discard. We're going to discard Scalding Tarn. Okay, and there we go. Run into Mana Crypt. So let's go and cast Mana Crypt. And then let's go for this Dark Deal out of the graveyard. And then, yeah, we're getting a little bit of extra mana on here. Actually, with this Price of Progress, it's it's not that good. So we're going to get the Waste Knot going up there. Most of the time, you put Waste Knot in there, and you're like, oh, yeah, I play against a ton of basics like that. So discard a card. Yeah, maybe we could have sequenced this turn a little bit differently, but I'm still getting a feel for how this deck pilots. I'm going to be perfectly honest. So that's just kind of one of these things where we're just trying to figure out exactly what's going to happen. So then we do run into Bone Muser. We could actually end up going straight up just Chandra if we wanted to. We can go for Mountain for the land drop for the turn. That's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 total mana to kind of play around with. Yeah, let's do it like this. So let's go for Bone. Bone Muser enter the battlefield. So if it feels like we don't really have a super strong direction that we're heading in, yeah, that's kind of right. I'll kind of explain what we're going for. Flash: each creature you control that's a wolf or werewolf gets +1/+1 and has trample. So let's have Bone Miser enter the battlefield, and then anything else that we're going to go to. We can go for Call to the Nether. I still kind of like leaving up Hero's Downfall. Yeah, let's just hold on to Faithless Looting for next turn. So let's click OK. We're going to lose that last little bit of mana, but we want to hold up on the Hero's Downfall. So anything else? No, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So we'll discard Drownyard Temple because we can make that land drop out of the graveyard, and we'll end up getting rid of Arid Mesa. So there we go. Get rid of those and get rid of that one. There we go. Add double black mana to our mana pool. And then with that last 4 mana, yeah, we can try to go for a Price of Progress, which is going to be just 1 damage. I think we might as well just go and hold on to this Price of Progress. So we'll click OK, and then we'll go and pass turn over to our opponent. So, but yeah, 100%. So this build of Anje, I had this idea. I didn't really get a chance to play test it because this week is a little bit clunky as far as what we've got going. I didn't really have a ton of time to kind of rebuild, or at least kind of pre-record a lot of my stuff. So I had this deck idea, and so I'm kind of getting a feel for it, because normally what I like to do is at least do a couple different play tests with this particular deck, at least before I record it. And so this is kind of what we're doing right now. It's just we happen to be recording while I'm playtesting, so I'm still getting a feel for what's happening with the deck. You can see where we can filter through our library very quickly, and just like the Unesh value train, I'm just now remembering that we probably need to have some breaks on this Anje train, because you can see we've got 30 cards left in the library, and we don't have a way to shuffle stuff back in. So that's something that I'll probably need to incorporate into my next build of this deck for sure. But this is kind of what we've got going. We're at least at next point, we're looking at going for Chandra. We can start going for a little bit of extra pressure. I think whenever it attacks, yeah, we definitely want to deal with that Kessig, and that's going to be Village Messenger. Haste. Yeah, let's go Hero's Downfall. I think that's going to be pretty good. So Hero's Downfall. Because whenever it attacks, that's going to be a pretty good amount of wolf tokens, and so we want to make sure those wolf tokens stay on their side of the battlefield. And so hopefully with this Faithless Looting, we can start to generate a little bit of extra value. Now with Faithless Looting, we can set it up with our very own Bone Miser, in that we can get a few extra stuff down, either to get some zombies or for some extra mana. And then we're probably just going to end up going for Chandra, so I think that'll be pretty good next turn. So we'll start to get some of that rolling. So let's go and bring Squee back to the hand. Let's go and choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. Well, on the flip, we are 1 for 1 on those Mana Crypt triggers, and we're going to return Squee back. Yes, definitely want to do that ability, and we draw into Chrome Mox. Okay, so let's get this turn going. So let's go Faithless Looting. We're going to draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. I think we're going to get rid of Neheb, and we'll get rid of Price of Progress, because that is a really slow build right now. So we're going to draw an additional card, or at least get a 2/2 zombie. Drawn to Blood Crypt, and I think we're going to try to combo off at this point. So we're going to kind of leave it all on the battlefield. So let's go for Chrome Mox. We're going to exile Toxic Deluge. Let's go for land drop out of the graveyard. It's going to be Dragon Skull Summit. That way we're not taking any damage. Let's go for Lightning Bolt. That's going to put them down to 18. And is there anything else that we need to do? We can discard a card. Let's go and discard Call to the Nether Void. It can basically just cast it. So we're going to cash in an additional card draw. Has Madness, untap it. So we're going to have the Madness ability of Call to the Netherworld. Let's go ahead and grab something out of the... Yeah, this is a... let's see what creature we're going to grab. Undead Gladiator, Gutter Bones, and then Skeleton. So I think at this point we'll just end up grabbing... something cheap. We'll just grab Sanitarium Skeleton. So I'm just going to return it back to the hand. We get the untap from Anje. Let's go ahead and discard Squee for the turn. Get a 2/2 zombie. We're going to draw on another card. We get from under the floorboards, and then we draw in one more card. So we run into Mountain. Let's draw that last card with Anje, and we run into Ancient Tomb. So there's really not much else we need to do in the hand. So let's go for this Past in Flames. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then for just 1, helps if we tap down for red. There we go. So we're going to go for Past in Flames. Each card in our graveyard is going to gain flashback. So let's see. There's nothing else that we need to cast. So let's go. Yeah, let's go for Incendiary Flow. All right, so we're going to send 4 damage up top to our opponent. That's going to be a double red. That's going to put them down to 14. We're going to get the wheel effect, so that should generate a very, very nice chunk of mana for us. Okay, so let's go ahead and discard a card. Let's discard a Conflagrate, and I think we've got it now. We're going to draw an additional card on this one. I'm trying to work my way through this one, and this is a very clunky. So let's go down to Conflagrate. Let's target our opponent. We're going to click up to... It's going to be double red that we're going to have to end up paying. Okay, so we're going to send 13 up top. We're going to draw in a few more cards. Let's get these bone triggers on the stack. And hey, I do 108. Huge shout out to our opponent for sticking this one out. I feel like I'm like trying to, I'm in front of the class and they're like, the teacher doesn't know what's going on. So that's kind of definitely getting a feel for what this deck is doing. So, but you can see there's a lot of fun stuff going on. There's a lot of, it's always fun. We've got a lot of stuff on the stack. That's always pretty cool. So let's go ahead. That's going to be Fiery Temper, and that's going to be, there we go. So we can just go ahead and, oh, well, let's see what we cash into off this card draw. Oh, no, we don't. We're going to lose the game if we don't do this. Oh, no. Okay. All right, so we're going to add that black mana to our mana pool. How many card draws do we have? We're at 4. Okay, I think we're barely going to survive this one. Okay, we've down to 2 cards left in our library. I thought we were about to lose the game from like not having enough cards to draw. So that's going to be 13 damage up top. And then finally, we're going to be able to end up going for... oh, can we go... we can't go for Fiery Temper. Because we don't... Actually, we can flashback something out of the graveyard. Yeah, Searing Spear. There we go. Searing Spear up top. Let's go for Rakdos Signet. We're going to tap down that last mana. Okay, 3 There we go. That is not the that's not the cleanest win out there. 100%. I'm the first one to say that, but we kind of slugged through it. And a huge shout out to our opponent. Good game to them. But yes, huge shout out to our opponent for sticking that one out. We probably could have won a little bit cleaner, but like I mentioned, this is the first time I'm playing this deck, and we were able to really kind of sequence some good stuff together. I'm not used to playing a deck like this, so if I missed a line of play, I do apologize. Let me know in the comments, but let me know tactfully, because I definitely want to learn from my mistakes. But yeah, there we go. You can see we had 2 cards left in the library. We almost lost the game ourselves. Had we had to draw 2 more cards, or at least 3 more cards, we'd have lost the game on not having a card to draw. So there we go. You can see where we got a ton of good stuff down, and the sequencing on this deck could definitely be better, but I'm really excited to kind of fine tune this deck. And if you have any suggestions for the deck, as far as, add this burn spell in here, add this in there, hop in the comments, let me know. I definitely want to fine tune this into the future, but yeah, had a lot of fun. That's exactly what we wanted to do with the deck, is get a lot of wheel effects going and just have a lot of fun drawing some cards with Anje. So if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.